All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto. Today, as always, we will be discussing Cardano and the current action we are seeing in the Bitcoin price right now. The bottom could in fact be in at that $3,800 level that we were looking at. We have a Bitcoin technical chart here, and of course right now the price of Bitcoin is standing at 6,663, and very interesting just to see all the action that we're seeing play out in the space right now. Of course we have Dan, Moorhead, who said Bitcoin will shoot past its all-time high this year. This is definitely a very interesting article. So while Moorhead doesn't push Bitcoin into the six-figure range like Tim Draper or Ross, Ulbricht have done in recent months, he's confident BTC is set to accomplish big goals. He believes that by early 2021, the price of Bitcoin will have surged past $20,000 mark. Definitely interesting. Bitcoin was born in a financial crisis. It will come of age in this one. Now that we're in trillions and the deficit just simply needs to have a positive impact on the price of things. And I'm not, of course, definitely interesting. I mean, once the Hydra has been released, you could cut one head off and then two heads emerge. And it's of course interesting in the context of Cardano. And of course we've got right here Bitcoin was heading for a big upsurge. Traders explain what changed. So with the firm recovery of the Dow Jones Industrial Average and Bitcoin defending the 6,400 support level with strength, crypto trader anticipated the Bitcoin price to rebound to at least 7,500 in the short term, the past 48 hours. However, they have started to learn towards, so definitely interesting. We will pay attention to what happens very closely as we see Bitcoin making these different key moves, and of course, what we can expect to see. And I like this article right here. Is Cardano the Ethereum killer? So if you watch the video of Charles Hoskinson, founder of Cardano, in which he explains the Cardano project in a whiteboard session in 2017, it becomes clear that this is not a simple we do everything an XY project. No, Cardano is a completely new approach in many ways. Cardano describes itself as a third generation platform and wants to significantly improve those things that have been identified as shortcomings in the first generation. Bitcoin, decentralized money, the second generation Ethereum, smart contracts, blockchain platforms. This is not reduced to a few technical parameters, but is essentially reflected in a very scientific approach. So it will be interesting to see. I have very often talked about the Cardano architecture, and of course how we can expect it to change the overall perspective. That it's a cryptocurrency advocate's cryptocurrency, and I'll be very interested to see how we watch Cardano, especially in the current ecosystem. It will be very interesting. So I want to play this video right here. So the government wants to give stimulus money to Americans through a digital dollar, and of course now that's been voted on, and it will come to pass. And so this will onboard hundreds of millions of people to Bitcoin. This video right here talks about the digitalization of currency, the digital dollar itself, and that is right next door to a very relevant topic that's very near and dear to the thesis of many of these videos that we've made on here. So let's give it a listen, and then we'll continue on with our analysis.
I will say to you, though, we will reach a point where the US dollar will become digital. Other global currencies will be digital. How then could Bitcoin be a store of value?
Yeah, look, if I'm the United States government sitting it from a rational seat, I think that they should tokenize the dollar immediately, right? If you look at China, they're tokenizing their currency. There's other countries that will follow. What's going to happen is there's not going to be a competition between digital and non-digital currencies. Every currency will be digital. What we're going to have is a competition of monetary policy. And if all of a sudden, let's say China has a digital yuan and we don't have a digital currency, it will be much more accessible for people to buy the Chinese yuan in other parts of the world than the US dollar. And so you might see higher levels of adoption adoption of the Chinese yuan than the US dollar. So if we can tokenize or digitize the dollar fast and drive that adoption globally, we've got a chance to keep that as the global reserve currency.
But
now,
to Joe's point, why would you own Bitcoin if you could own the US dollar?
I ultimately believe that people are going to opt for something that is not manipulatable, is not seizable, is not censorable.
Not debasable.
Not debaseable, et cetera. And so I think people are going to continue slow at first, but over time, more and more people will choose.
It is, of course, very interesting to see this happening in real time, the sort of digital currency arms race that we're seeing. And I think Bitcoin is a nuclear engine in that context. And you can quote me on that. I think it'll be interesting to see how a lot of these new developments in the global sphere are going to be playing a very, very interesting role. And I love to play just look, come back, everyone, so typing with one hand here, but so I mean, if you ever want to just get, if you're ever thinking about selling your Bitcoin, I mean, obviously you could be a trader and all that, but the world debt clock is something that I would recommend looking up. Now, and of course, the clock is ticking. Every time I make one of these videos, I always, one of the things that I like to say is I can't wait for 10, 15 years to pass by, and people will go through all the videos that I posted on this channel, and they'll, all this stuff will be archived, and they'll remember, numbers like these, the world debt, the national debt, and with nostalgia, with fond nostalgia, looking back at this past paradigm, and it will be very interesting, just to, just reflect with you guys. Probably do a live stream on our virtual reality that we'll be using at that point. And it will be very interesting. So of course we have we have trade flipping short on XRP despite its intense 10% rally. XRP definitely an interesting one as well. Of course. Long-term trend line, the concept of a bear trap, with what we've been seeing. There's so much uncertainty. Obviously, I'm going to continue doing the technical analysis for you guys because it's so high requested, but at the same time, I want to just talk about how there is so much uncertainty in the space right now. The traditional technical analysis is really something that doesn't. It doesn't really jive with the current market. We, to a certain extent, technical analysis is a lot of times just people drawing lines, but anyway, so the argument over if Bitcoin truly is a safe haven asset like gold and other precious metals continues, as the two assets have shown an uncanny correlation in the past. The correlation has gone on forward, first spotted following Bitcoin's 2017 peak, but the comparative price action really ramped up in early 2019 as a trade war between China and the United States, blah, blah, blah. So will be interesting. I think that, the gold people are, misguided in this argument. And I think that just looking towards the digital age, it is fairly relevant indeed to talk about something like Bitcoin in this context. But of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'm not your financial advisor. So remember to do your own due diligence, your own research. As this market is very high risk, high volatility, and you can lose everything. But it is interesting, nonetheless, to look at something like Cardano. It's definitely a sleeping giant at that. And we will see a very interesting, I would say, Shakespearean drama playing out in the grand context of the world of digital currencies as a lot of these different aspects continue to play themselves out. So without any further ado, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Of course, remember to keep it family friendly in the comments down below. All that being said, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Remember to comment down below letting us know what part of the world you're actually watching this from. Always interesting to see that information. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one and stay relevant.